What's up guys, it's Rasim from RossMarTech.com. How you guys doing? I'm doing great. I have an exciting video for you guys. Now a lot of you guys know what I'm going to talk about, or you guys know what this video is going to be about. So right in front of me here, you could probably get an idea of what I'm going to do. There's an Xbox, we have a res pump combo, we have fluid, we have tubing. If you guessed I'm gonna water cool an Xbox One S, you are right. Yes guys, I'm actually gonna water cool an Xbox S. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering, why would you want to water cool an Xbox S? It's got pretty good cooling. Years back, Xboxes always had problems with like the red ring of death. You guys probably know what the red ring of death is. It's when the CPU got hot and it didn't work anymore and it would cause this red ring and you couldn't use your Xbox anymore. Ever since then, Xbox has been working on trying to cool their systems more efficient cooling. But I'm gonna take that more efficient cooling to the next level. We're actually gonna water cool the Xbox. Now right in front of me is all the parts we need to water cool the Xbox. That's a Xbox One S, by the way. I'm gonna have a hard time trying to drill a hole in it, but it's gonna have to get done. It's gonna look cool, and hopefully you guys are gonna like it. I know I'm gonna love every second of it, so let's get started. All right, so now this is the Xbox One S. It's a new system that just came out, and it's freaking beautiful. As you can see, it's a lot more compact than the original Xbox One. A lot less weight, and it's got a built-in power supply. Now, if you guys don't know, there isn't any more power brick. It's actually built into the Xbox, so there's only one little cable that you need to connect to power it up. So this is the Xbox One S, white, and it looks really cool. I'm gonna hate having to drill into it because it's so freaking beautiful, but I'm gonna love building this, so hopefully you guys love it too. Now this is the res pump combo we're gonna be using. This is from Thermaltake, and it's the Pacific PT40. It's right here out of the box. I used this in a couple of my builds and I loved it. If you guys remember, the ultimate water-cooled Raspberry Pi 3 and the water-cooled Latte Panda. This is the reservoir I used. I cleaned it out and we're gonna use it for this project. And this res pump combo is not that expensive. I think I paid like $70. I'm gonna leave a link in the description if you guys are interested. Now this is the radiator we're gonna use in this build. It's from EK. This is the LC Solution Coolstream SE. It's an ultra slim radiator, as you can see. I use this in a few of the builds, and we're gonna use this for this project. I highly recommend it. The link will be in the description. And I'm also gonna use a 120mm fan like this. It's not gonna be this one. It's gonna be a green one, I think UV green. Should react to the UV light, but I will get one. It will go on top of that radiator. Now this is the water block that's gonna allow us to water cool the Xbox, and it's from XSPC. And it wasn't cheap. This was like $70. And this is the Ray Storm, by the way. I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description. Now this is one of many compression fittings we're gonna use. This is from Barrow and it's black. It looks amazing. And this is 1/2" fitting. So we're gonna use a lot of these. I'll leave a link to this in the description. And this is the MCX RAM Copper Edition. These are gonna be for the little chips on the Xbox. So we have little tubing. It's called 5/3 tubing. It's a small tubing. I have lots of it. I'm gonna show you at the end. But a lot of the RAM and a lot of the little chips are gonna get water cooled using this copper here. Now I also have plenty of this here. These are double-sided adhesive thermal transfer pads. I'm gonna use this on this copper edition, the one I showed you earlier. And I'm also gonna be using a lot of these bulkhead fittings, and they're from Alpha Cool and they're black. Now the way bulkhead fittings work, you drill a hole through a hard surface that you want tubing run through, and basically these two twist. One goes on one end, the other goes the other end, and both sides have these G 1/4" threading, so you twist a fitting on both ends. So it looks neat. And I'll also be using a lot of these dividers. These are special dividers, and I'll leave a link to this in the description. It takes 1/4" and it turns it to small tubing. So you could change big tubing into small tubing. And we're gonna be using a lot of these. So this will allow us to cool down those little chips like the RAM. Now this is the power supply that's actually gonna be powering all the water cooled stuff like the pump res combo. And this is the ATX power supply. This is the Pico power supply. It's the world's smallest power supply. I did a video on this. I use this in a lot of my projects. Link will be in the description. And this will be inside the case and it will be powering everything. Now this is the switch that's gonna allow us to power up the Pico power supply. It doesn't come with the Pico power supply, but this is like a adapter, 22 pin. The Pico power supply will connect to this. Anything connected to the Pico power supply, as long as we switch it on, it will power on. All right, so this is the smaller tubing we're gonna be using. This is like, I think the smallest tubing you could get. This is 5/3, and it's gonna fit perfectly on our little water blocks, the MCX Copper Edition. And we're gonna be using this for like cooling the RAM and all that stuff. So this is the little tubing we're gonna be using. Now this is the other tubing we're gonna be using. This is the bigger one. This is the 1/2" tubing. I'll leave a link to this tubing in the description. This is the iFixit set. I highly recommend this iFixit set. It's like $70, but it has all the tools you'll need for this project and all the projects that I'll probably do in the future. So Highly recommend it. I'll leave a link to this in the description. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the video. All right, guys, so now we're ready to tear down the Xbox One S. Are you excited? Right here on the left, I have the iFixit set. I will use this iFixit set to tear down the Xbox One S. I highly recommend it. It's like $70 or $80, but it's totally worth it. I think there is a newer model. I have the older one. I also recommend you guys get like a magnetic tray. This one was like $3, and it'll keep your screws safe. All right, so let's start the teardown. Guys, we finished tearing down the Xbox One S, and this is the motherboard. This is the brains of the operation, and these are most of the parts that we're going to water cool. All right, so this is the brains of the build right here. This is the GPU/CPU made by AMD. Now again, CPU and GPU in one. On the CPU side, it has a 1.75 gigahertz AMD Jaguar 8-core CPU, and on the GPU side, it has AMD's Radeon Graphics, which has a clock speed of 914 megahertz. So this is the beast of the Xbox One S. This is the part that gets the hottest. This is the part we bought the block for, and this is the part that we're going to water cool first. On the side here, these are all the RAM chips here. There are 16 of them, which make it a total of 8 gigabytes of RAM. Each one of these RAM sticks are going to get water cooled using our little blocks. Now, these are the only parts that we're going to water cool. The other parts don't need any water cooling. So I just wanted to explain to you guys what we're going to do. I have the ASPC water block for this, and I have those little copper edition blocks that we're going to cover the CPUs with. Once it's done, it's going to look sick. So in the next step, we're going to put on the XSPS water block. All right, so this is the Ray Storm. This is from XSPC. This is the water block that's going to go like right here and cool this chip, and we're going to install it right now. So the water block kit included this here. This is the thermal paste. We're going to need to cover the CPU right here, so I'm just going to pour some in the middle, then I'm going to evenly spread it out. It's not like a regular CPU where you can just put some in the middle. This has to be spread around, so I'm going to use a piece of cardboard to spread it around evenly before we put on the water block. So now the thermal paste is on there. Now let's put on the block. All right, to assemble the block, we're going to take 3 of these like long post things, right? We're going to unscrew the nut on the bottom. We're going to first off by putting on a spring, a metal washer, and a plastic washer. This is going to go through the first hole here. Now we're going to repeat this step another 3 times. Take this water block. I want the inlet and outlet to come out from this side, so I'm going to place it on top of the CPU/GPU. I'm going to place the posts through the holes here. Make sure they go through. Make sure each post goes through each hole. Then I'm going to take one of these nuts. I'm going to place it in the bottom of the holes, and so I can lock each one in here. I'm going to tighten on the bottom. As you can see, I turned the board around. These are the nuts. I have them locked onto each one of the post screws. Now we're going to flip it back around. All right, so since we got all the nuts on the bottom, now we can hand tighten the rest. I'm going to start with this corner here. Then I'm going to start tightening this corner here. Alright, so the water block is on there snug. I got the inlet and outlet on this side right here. It looks cool, doesn't it? I have an LED light that it came with the kit that should go into these 2 holes. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. I'm thinking of just getting some UV light strips. This is the coolant we're going to use. This is the UV green from XSPC. They make their own UV green coolant, and I'm going to use that in the build. I figured green is one of my favorite colors, and green will always complement Xbox, so UV green was the best choice for this project. Now right before me here, you guys guess it, it's finally done. I finished the water-cooled Xbox One S. It's been like a month-long project, but it's finally done. Does it look beautiful? Oh! Let me just rotate this to the side right here. Alright guys, isn't she beautiful? This is like a work of art. I've loved every second of this build. Hopefully guys, you can appreciate this too. So again, it's been a month long, but I loved every minute of it. You can see them. One thing I want to talk about, I did change out the radiator. The original radiator that was in here broke. I'm the one who broke it. I used the clamps for this fan here, and they were too tight and they broke the radiator. So I pretty much got the same radiator but thicker. This is the L Solution Coolstream PE from EK. This is a lot thicker than the other one I had. Alright guys, I want you guys to comment. I want your guys' criticism. What did I do right? What did I do wrong? What should I have done? What should I have used? Should I have used other components? Do you like this reservoir? Is there a reservoir you guys think would have been better? Do you like this radiator? Should I drill holes here? Should I use these fittings? Let me know. I love all the criticism. Criticism is good. It helps me grow. It helps the channel grow. Now, see this fan here? This is the original fan. All I did was extend it. I used my solder and some wire and I extended a cable. I didn't want to run into any problems later where the system didn't load because of the fan wasn't connected, so I used the same fan. All right guys, let me turn it around to the back so you guys can see the back. I'm just gonna keep flipping it around. That's the back again. But I wanted to show you guys how this whole thing works. You know, I spent a lot of time water cooling this Xbox One S, and I want to show you guys it does work and it does keep the system cool. All right guys, so the first thing I'm gonna do is turn it on. I'm gonna turn it on using the switch. I have the Pico power supply powering everything on. It powered on the pump and the fan. As you can see, fan is on, the pump is on, the liquid is moving through the whole loop here. Now, how do we turn it on? We just press power here, and it should power it up. And I have it connected to this TV right here. So in about like 2 seconds, it should pop up on the screen. But yeah, this whole thing does work. As you can see, started right there. Now it is pretty loud. It's not as loud as you think. The fan is the loudest part of the system. If I got one of those ultra quiet fans, then this wouldn't matter, but it doesn't bother me. So it's loading up right now. Right under here, I could feel that it's really cool. It's actually cooling everything. So starting up, I got my controller right here. Start my controller. And today, this is the games I got, by the way. I got Halo 5. And I got Resident Evil 6. Now I can't wait till Resident Evil 7 comes out. Just to prove it to you guys that this actually works. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but here, start the game. Let's see if I can start the game right there. Halo 5, it's one of my favorite games. Halo is one of my favorite franchises. I've loved older games. Halo 2 is probably my favorite one. If you guys have a favorite, let me know. So, it's working, right? I'm not gonna be able to play one hand because I'm holding my phone with the others, but I wanted to show you guys that it does work. This wasn't working, the system won't even start because the CPU would be too hot. I have it connected to the internet. I do play once in a while, but I will be playing probably Resident Evil 6 because Resident Evil 7 is coming out soon again. It's awesome, and I'm probably gonna get the PlayStation VR just to play that game. How sick would it be just to play a Resident Evil game in virtual reality? Like you're actually in the game, like zombies are attacking you, and how cool is that? But yeah, it's touching the radiator here. It's really cool. The liquid seems cool. The game is starting. As you guys can see, I'm moving around one hand right now. It's working. Everything's working. There's no lag. If this wasn't cooling the processor right here, the game won't be playing because the CPU would be getting so hot that it would just thermal throttle and shut down. But it's smooth, no jitter. It's gonna keep the CPU way cooler than the stock fan that was on here. I mean, not a lot of people are gonna water cool an Xbox One S. It's not practical. You don't need to water cool an Xbox One S because it's not gonna improve your performance at all. It will stop the red ring of death, but it's not gonna improve your performance. I did this because I'm a geek and I love to do stuff like this, and I have a YouTube channel that pays for stuff like this. So if you guys are thinking it's a waste of time, it's not a waste of time to me because I enjoyed building every second of this, and if at least one of you guys enjoyed it, then it was worth every penny. So if you guys like this video, please give me a like. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'm Ristin from motherboard, and thank you guys for watching.